a young girl, scarcely 15. Thanks to my parents, lots of places I've seen, but never a place that I love as well as my Virgil home 'neath the maiden tea hill. My Virgil home, that heaven of mine, the home of my parents, so loving and kind. I love them so, and I always will. And my Virgil home 'neath the maiden tea hill. The harbor's so pretty in the morning sunshine, as the seabirds and robins their sweet notes entwine. The fishing gulls shine in the water so still, here in my home 'neath the maiden tea hill. When I had trouble or if I was sad, I always found comfort from good friends I had. They knew that I loved them and I always will. And my Virgil home 'neath the maiden tea hill. My Virgil home, that heaven of mine, the home of my parents, so loving and kind. I love them so, and I always will. And my Virgil home 'neath the maiden tea hill. With her fishery failing, I may have to roam. Dear God, how I'd hate to leave my dear home, but each night in memory, sure I'll see it still. My Virgil home 'neath the maiden tea hill. My Virgil home, that heaven of mine, the home of my parents, so loving and kind. I love them so, and I always will. And my Virgil home 'neath the maiden tea hill.
Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include
what it is that people are approaching you about, so that you have a better notion of the merits of the case.
Situation. So nobody need ever worry that
these stories and more coming up after these words from our sponsor.
Poor woman in the drink.
And you can see a bit of this one, right? So it should be. Where do they go?
Area rugs.
Area rugs. Before we start the paints or whatever, we should just jot down what.
You may think walking is just walking. At Participaction, we know walking is more. You've been walking to the store, to work, taking a break, or just smelling the flowers. Now research confirms regular activities as simple as walking reduce your risk of a heart attack or stroke. You just feel great. Walking, the shortest distance between you and better health. Participaction, the movement for active, healthy living.
The new Enterprise Store, a tuition-free program designed to help aspiring entrepreneurs get their business ideas off the ground, held a meeting in Burgeo on Monday. During their visit to Burgeo, the representatives from the new Enterprise Store stopped by our studio for this interview. With me in the studio today, I have Frederica Collins, who is facilitator with the new Enterprise Store. Welcome to our studio. And I understand you have two of your former students with you?
yes, I do. Two of our recent graduates, Sharon Huckster and Debbie Brake.
Okay. Can you tell us a bit about the new Enterprise Store?
The new Enterprise Store is a program designed to help anyone unemployed who has an interest in self-employment. We select people and we take them through a rigorous selection process, and when they come to the course, they should have the right attributes and the skills that we feel are necessary in order to be successful in self-employment. And then they do a 40-week program whereby the first 20 weeks are school, theory, books, computers, accounting, and the last 20 weeks is devoted to developing a business plan, so that when they finish their 40 weeks, hopefully their business plan is already completed and approved, and they're ready to seek financing, or probably their financing is in place and their business is ready to begin.
Who is offering this program?
This program is sponsored by the Newfoundland and Labrador Entrepreneurship Development Council in conjunction with P.J. Gardner Institute for Small Business Studies from Memorial University, and we partner with West Viking College in Stephenville, and the course is sponsored through Human Resources Development Canada.
When will this program be offered again?
The next course will be beginning on October 30th and finishing August 9th of next year.
So where will that be offered?
That one's going to be offered at the W.E. Cormack Development Center in Stephenville.
Who is qualified to apply for enrollment into the new Enterprise Store?
Anyone. If you have an interest in business, if you have an idea, anyone can apply.
What kinds of costs are associated with applying?
HRD sponsors the program, and if you are a TAGS or UI recipient or social assistance recipient, then there would be no cost at all for the students. It would be a tuition-free program. All the materials would be provided, travel allowance, living allowance, etc.
Okay, I understand this program has been offered once before, is it?
Yes, we just finished our first store in Stephenville.
Okay, what kind of success rate did the program have?
Pretty well a 50% success rate right now with starting business. Business is ready to open. We do have a couple of other students who are into very massive enterprises, and that takes a little longer than 1 year to put in place. One of the students, he just received funding for a second year of assistance in order to complete his business plan and get his business off the ground. So that's one of the good things about the program. You can come in and have 1 year with assistance in that year, for the full year. And then for the next year, you can qualify for another program, self-employment assistance or the graduate self-employment program, both of which will probably carry you through 1 full year of additional assistance while your business is getting off the ground. So you really have 2 years of support.
Okay, you had 2 students here with you today.
Yes.
So have either of you found employment since, or got your business up and running since you finished the course?
I haven't started yet. I'm in the process of starting a home-based business, dealing with computers, products and services, and selling computers as well. And I probably could have had it up and running now, but I went kind of in a different direction. I had an opportunity to take over an existing business, and that sort of fell through at the last minute type thing before we graduated. And now I'm in the process of starting another business. But Debbie is up and running.
I have a business. It's Break Enterprises, and I'll be doing tendering for businesses like janitorial supplies and quite a number of other reputable companies I'm dealing with. So be it merchandise and be able to be tendered to public.
Okay, so how did you find the course?
Excellent. It was the best course I've ever done, and I've had quite a bit of training in the past. I did some courses through West Viking before. I started a computer science program, which I didn't finish. I have another semester to do, but it was a great program, and it taught us everything. I think it kind of filled in things that we didn't know. Like I went into it, and marketing was really my downfall because I had a lot of financial background experience. So I needed a lot of marketing skills, and it really gave that to me. Plus the support group itself, like the class itself, was a big support for each other. It was really excellent.
Okay, so I take it from what you're saying that you would recommend the course?
Oh, definitely. For anybody that's interested in self-employment, it's an excellent course.
Okay, so how many students do you take for the course each year?
We're looking at probably 20 to 25 if we get enough people to apply for the program and then go through the selection process. So hopefully we'll get 20 to 25 students.
So is your enrollment down right now for this year, or?
Well, we've just started.
Oh, okay.
That's the purpose of our trip to Burgeo, and we were over to Ramia today as well. And we're going around making sure that everybody in the area is aware that the program will be starting again in October 30th, and encouraging people to give us a call if they're at all interested and pick up an application and apply for the program. We want everybody in the area to know that what the course is about and that it will be offered in October.
Okay, I notice you have some brochures in your hand.
Yes,
Are
I
these
brought some for
available?
you.
Okay, so we can put them in our office if anyone
Yes.
wants them, they can pick them up there.
Yes,
okay.
and the phone numbers are on the brochures.
Okay, is there anything that either of you would like to add?
Well, when we were driving down today, we were talking about the course, and it didn't mean a lot to me earlier on, but when the students brought it up today, I thought, well, maybe that is a good point to mention. They said that one of the things that made them very comfortable about the course was that there are no exams, there's no testing, there's no requirements. You don't have to pass anything. You only have to work at your own pace and do what you want to do.
Okay, so basically you get out of it what you put into it.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's exactly right. And the completion of the business plan and starting your own business, that's your pass. That's your graduation. So nobody need ever worry that the program is difficult or maybe I won't be able to do it or anything like that. You do what suits you and what your skills help you do. And so nobody ever need worry about that. There's, have confidence, come along and see what the program is all about.
Okay. Well, we'd like to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come in and speak with us today.
Thank you very much for
Thank you.
having us.
This past week, the Burgeo Recreation Commission updated their thermometer located adjacent to the Town Council building. Stay tuned for more of This Week in Review coming up after these words from tonight's sponsor.
They're not hip or modern, fancy or fashionable. They no longer fit your prescription or your style. But for one person living in a developing country, these used eyeglasses will put the world in focus, maybe for the very first time. Don't throw away someone's chance for a clearer tomorrow. Donate your used eyeglasses.
Hey kids, be sure and tune in on Saturday morning for the return of Pansy's Garden to the BBS lineup. Pansy will be returning to Community Channel 10 with a whole new cast on Saturday morning. If you're wondering who will be joining Pansy on Pansy's Garden, you'll just have to tune in on Saturday morning to find out. Remember, boys and girls, moms and dads, that's Pansy's Garden, Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. only on BBS, your local community channel. Roger Grimes, Minister of Tourism, Culture and Recreation, was in town last week along with our MHA, Dave Gilbert. Mr. Gilbert and Mr. Grimes met with the Burgeo Town Council, the Burgeo Recreation Commission, and the Tourism Association. We caught up with Mr. Grimes at Sandbanks Provincial Park, where he spoke with us concerning his visit to Burgeo. Speaking with me today, I have Roger Grimes, Minister of Tourism, Culture and Recreation. First of all, we'd like to thank you for speaking with us, Mr. Grimes.
Oh, my pleasure to be here. I must say I've enjoyed a day and a half or so now in Burgeo. Looking forward to a visit to Ramia as well during this trip with the MHA, Mr. Gilbert, and having a great time, getting a real good first-hand look at everything in the area, and very pleased actually that I got a chance to come down.
So is this your first visit to Burgeo?
No, actually I was here the last time when I was president of the Teachers Association for Newfoundland. I used to have a lot of dealings with the branches and the members here in Burgeo and Ramia as well, with contract negotiations and those types of things. But it's been 8 or 9 years now since my last visit, so it's and it's the first time actually that I've had a chance to visit in any of the summer or fall season. Before it was always visiting in the winter during the middle of the school year.
Okay. So is this the first time you've been to Sandbanks Provincial Park? Oh,
there's no question. First time at the park. I've had the opportunity to visit several of the parks throughout this summer and now into the fall, trying to get an opportunity to see quite a number of them. And Mr. Gilbert actually has been bringing matters with respect to Sandbanks Park to my attention for the full year now that I've been in this particular job and portfolio, and has really, I guess, been insisting that I come down and look firsthand, because he's convinced, as are other people here, I think, that this park is unique with respect to the rest of the parks in the provincial parks inventory. And just from the one walk around the park today, it's pretty clear that that this is a very different facility than the others that we offer in the province.
Okay, so with a park as beautiful as Sandbanks is here, can you tell us why there are no signs on the Trans-Canada Highway telling tourists that there is a park here?
Yeah, it's one of the issues that we're dealing with when we've dealt in the past with the Department of Work, Service and Transportation, and ourselves in Municipal Affairs have been 3 departments dealing with highway signage, depending on whether or not you're close to a community or whether you're on the Trans-Canada. We're trying to sort those issues out. One of the issues that's always been there, and one of the policy matters has always been that if you're located beyond 50 or 60 kilometers from the Trans-Canada Highway, that we wouldn't put signage on the Trans-Canada relating to either accommodations or to parks or to other facilities. And we're revisiting that particular issue now, because there's no doubt that when you have a situation like this where you have Burgeo and the park at the end of a highway, and that there's not a lot of development along the way down the highway, that you could refer to people that 50 kilometers down there's this, and then 60 there's that, and 70 there's something else. You sort of have to go to the full stretch of the road to get to why the road is there in the first instance. And I think that it's clear that we need to show some additional flexibility. It would be a tremendous advantage, I think, in terms of utilization of this marvelous park, if more people could become aware of it while they were driving the Trans-Canada Highway.
Okay, where do you think Burgeo stands with respect to tourism potential?
Well, Burgeo itself has some obvious advantages, but there are also some obvious disadvantages, I think, in terms of an extra bit of work having to be done to try to encourage people to make the journey into the Burgeo area in the first instance. Because by comparison to many of the other areas that people visit, non-residents and residents alike, they still tend, for some reason, to congregate and stick close to the Trans-Canada Highway and some of the major trunk roads as their route, and they're a little bit hesitant to go very far off of what they consider to be the main drag. Right. And I think it's promotion of the special things in the area, like the fact that we have a unique and spectacular park here for the park users, that would convince them that it's really worth the drive. It is as well. Like I say, the last times I were here were in the winter. Coming down at this time of the year, it is clearly a spectacular drive. It's a beautiful scenic drive from the Trans-Canada Highway to Burgeo itself. And that in itself, at that time of the year through spring, summer and fall, can be an attraction, can be used as a way to encourage people that the drive itself is pleasurable and is unique and different, and it's worth seeing. It's worth experiencing. And then when you get into the area, the town itself, and the whole area has a lot to offer. And for the people that, because we're here in the park today, for the people that are using the park services throughout the province, this one has an awful lot to offer that's they'd find different and very unique compared to the rest of the facilities that they've been in throughout the island and the Straits of Labrador.
Okay, another issue that raises a lot of concern here in Burgeo is recreation. In the past few years, the Burgeo Recreation Commission has raised approximately $65,000 towards their share of the cost of constructing an arena here in Burgeo. Can you tell us where Burgeo stands with respect to getting approval for an arena?
We've had the proposal in for a number of years now, 2 or 3 years at least, that I've been aware of it. I've only been in the job a year, but I've understood that the proposal was there before I got into the position as the Minister responsible for recreation, with respect to enclosing the current facility that's here. We had an opportunity to have a look at the facility firsthand yesterday, myself and Mr. Gilbert. We've talked about it with the council and members of the Recreation Committee. We had to overcome one of the hurdles because one of the applications was under the regional recreation program, which the criteria basically stated that there'd have to be at least 2 communities who would share the capital cost of the facility to be considered for funding. We went to the officials and got it clarified that because of the location of Burgeo, it was going to be virtually impossible to meet that criteria, so we've altered it for Burgeo. The difficulty, by the time we got through that little bit of bureaucratic rearranging, we had gotten to a point in this year, for example, where the provincial government, in our efforts to balance the budget, didn't put any money into the program. So we had a program, we had made an accommodation in the criteria so that Burgeo could at least be considered and would qualify for consideration versus being disqualified before, only to get to the year where now there's no money. And also the applications, there were some approaches as well in the infrastructure program that weren't successful. There were some recreation facilities done in certain areas of the province, but most of those, by and large, were the completion of projects that had already begun rather than the beginning of a new project here in Burgeo. So it's something that clearly the people of the community are supporting by virtue of the evidence of their fundraising and their support for the Recreation Committee and the Council in putting that money forward and dedicating it to the enclosing of the arena so that it can be maximized in its use throughout the winter months. And we certainly hope that we'll find a way one way or the other to at least get the application seriously considered in the next year or so.
Okay, Mr. Grimes, is there anything else that you would like to add?
No, other than that, I must say it's been a tremendous pleasure in the last couple of days to visit in the area. Really enjoyed the meetings with the council, with the Recreation Committee group, with the Tourism Association representatives, and have enjoyed an opportunity to see firsthand both the recreation facilities and also, of course, the tourism potential for the whole area. And it'll certainly help us in decision making when myself and other members of the cabinet are approached by Mr. Gilbert as the MHA. It always helps, I think, to have had an opportunity to firsthand visit the area and see exactly what it is that people are approaching you about, so that you have a better notion of the merits of the case when it comes for consideration in those meeting rooms in St. John's. So I've just really appreciated the opportunity to be here.
Okay, well, we'd like to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come by and speak with us.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks a lot.
There's more of This Week in Review coming up after this.
Yeah.
See the stacks start to look
Yeah.
early. We haven't done that yet.
No.
Little things you do that you think are small and few are the things that mean the most to me. So just keep giving whatever you're giving, 'cause even when you're giving just a little,
if you're doing just a little, you're helping a lot.
it helps a lot.
From the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
It helps a lot.
If your business would like to sponsor This Week in Review in one of our upcoming shows, you can do so by contacting me at our office for the details. Saturday morning at 11 a.m. is Pansy's Garden Time here on Channel 10. And of course, I'll be back again next week this time with This Week in Review. Until then, thanks for watching. For This Week in Review, I'm Dave Cooper. Good night.